Yes.
In your last video, you are talking about your own life journey.
Yeah.
So, like, you were just 7 years old when you left for Kenya. So, how was it? Like, did you find any difficulties living there?
In Kenya, I felt it felt more like home for me. I feel I was accepted more there. Um, Living in India as a child with dark skin, there was a lot of a kind of pushing away sort of thing, like push her aside. She's not one of us, that sort of thing. But this carried on in Kenya as well from the Indian society. But in school, I was accepted like one of their own. So at least I had someone to turn to more than what I did in India. So I was glad that we did go to Kenya. And I found the people quite hardworking and very loyal, more so than I did in India. And I feel sad to say that, but that's the reality of it. So, it made me understand how the Indian mind is so programmed in such a way that white is beautiful. Yes, these beliefs are basically created by the older generation, where I think where the English were ruling India.
You also talked about this in the last video. Your mom saying you are a dark skinned girl.
Yes.
So, like, what do you think about like how different the beliefs in other countries are compared to India?
I didn't, I mean, going to UK, I didn't face any issues either from English people, because English, they're white, but they love to get the tan. So they literally sit on the sun to get brown. So they loved my skin color. But it was only with the Indians I found this. So, and as I said, I think this programming is from where the British ruled the world, and when you're white and you have white children, you get better offers of proposals for marriages than when you're dark. When you're dark, it's like there's something wrong with the girl. This sort of, I don't think it goes on now. It's kind of dying down, but this is something that's stemmed in the older generation, and it's become like an imprint, because as India is an imprint, everything is a copy, right? So if we photocopy something today, as we continue copying on it, there are certain fading, but there's always going to be that main imprint, So that imprint, until people are willing to change their thoughts around it, to say, we are who we are. I mean, when we see trees, we accept the tree for whatever it is. So why is it that the humans, as people, we divisionalize and judge? So I personally feel that Indians are the worst at this. I'm sorry to say. But any culture I've been to, it's like accepting a person who they are. But Indians, I feel that even within the Indian society and the cultures, it's like, oh, this culture is lower. Oh, that one's suffering from leprosy. You can't touch them. This is kind of, the beliefs from older generations. Yeah. And dividing, and even like your wealth, they're higher class, these are lower class. This is, in UK, there is a little bit of that, in the sense of the people who are from council, people who are on lower earning background. Yes. But they're not completely where they ignored, or where they're slated for who they are. Basically, they are who they are, and that respect is a lot more there than Indian culture. I was going to Kutch, so I was taking a coach. I had, because I was going for a while, I had 2 suitcases and a backpack. I went to Satellite Ahmedabad station, and the guy said to me, I said, where do I get my ticket? You have to come down the stairs and get your ticket. I said, oh, I have like 2 suitcases, you know. And he said, you have to come down and get it. So as I'm going down the stairs were this tiny. And I have 2 suitcases and a backpack. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm going down these stairs one by one, you know, carrying the suitcases. And there's a man just sitting there watching me. And I'm like, Bhaiya, can you help a little? And he's like, no, I'm doing these bartans. So I'm like, okay, no problem. When I went to the office, the same guy said to me, oh, you get your ticket from the coach. So I said, so why did you ask me to come down? Oh, sorry, but you get your ticket from the coach. I said, you should have checked that. Yeah. So I said to him, would you help me with the suitcases up, because those stairs are very narrow. And he said, no, I'm the only one in the office, I can't help you. So, these sort of things kind of made me see UK in a different view. In UK, even when there's rush hours, not always, but mainly you will see that within 10-15 seconds someone will be there to help you. You know, and I always thought that India was great at that. And I believe they were, because when I came to India in '94, it was different.
Yes.
People would just come and help you. And this is in Bombay. People would come and help you. One time it was raining really heavy and I didn't have an umbrella. And this lady was, the child had the umbrella. And the lady said, give it to madam. I said, don't call me madam. I said, call me Didi, you know. And so I said, I can't take this umbrella and while your child gets wet. And she said, no, you know, we're used to getting wet, but you carry the umbrella. I said, okay, only on one reason. I said, let the little girl be under the umbrella with me as well. No, Didi, you can't touch her. I said, why? This is like the humbleness of, it's humbleness, but again, it's the society that have made them feel like they're nothing.
Yes.
And I walked with the little girl I was holding the little girl's hand. And she's like, no, normally you people don't touch us. I mean, why? I couldn't understand it, but the humbleness was there. But, you know, this time around, even the man washing the pots couldn't come and help.
Yeah.
So I can see how we're losing a lot of our values. Where there was that help for a human, you know, 2 can do it better than 1.
Yes.
It's not there anymore. Let us struggle and I'll sit here and watch. And that's what it's become, and it's very sad to see that. Where the Western cultures have honored our values, we're running away from our values. The very things that make us Indians, we're losing that.
So, what are certain examples that Indian beliefs that need to be rethink or changed?
For one, out of my own experience was when ladies come on period. You're not allowed to go to the temple.
Yes.
Yeah? And there are many families that don't allow the lady to sleep on the bed either, or go in the kitchen.
They have to sit on the floor.
Yeah, you have to sit on.
Sleep on the floor.
Yes, you have to sleep on the floor as well. Yes, and I went through that while I was at my mum's. I started my period when I was very young. I was only 10 years old.
Okay.
I didn't even know what it was. For me, it was like I did something wrong and God is punishing me.
Okay.
You know, so I'm like, forgive me, I don't know what I've done, you know. But then, I think my sister saw my dress a bit soiled, and that's when she told me about it. Originally, I was told by the school. One of the girls, I was sitting because I know my clothes were soiled. I didn't know what to do. I put my cardigan around to hide it. Yeah, I didn't know what I was doing. So one of the girls approached me and she said, "Are you all right?" I said, "You wouldn't understand it." And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "It's only us Indian girls. We go through this. You know, Indian women go through this by the looks of it. You know." And she said, "What?" And I explained to her. And she said, "No, every lady goes through it." I said, "But I don't remember you saying I can't touch you." That's how naive I was. I was like, I don't ever hear these girls saying that you can't touch me, or for 4 days you can't touch me, you know, because even as Indian society, they told me when we weren't meant to touch someone, it's because they touched a dead rat. That's what they told me. And I'm like, okay, you know, I did, because I didn't understand a lot of their ways, I didn't take it in, if you know what I mean. I was just like, okay, you know, I'll just go along with whatever you guys say. If you're not to touch, I won't touch, you know. But yeah, from my understanding, this stemmed from a time when there was no sanitization, like no proper sanitary pads or anything. So when women went to the temple, they soiled the ground of the temple. So they said, well, while the ladies are on period, then in which case they shouldn't come to the temple, so that this doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So I heard,
I think that is the scientific reason, you can say that.
Ye-
But people call it like God will punish you if you go into the temple.
yes,
Yeah.
now they've turned it around that way.
Definitely.
You know, I personally used to really get angry, like, why can't I go to the temple? Because as a young child, I was very much into temple, because I couldn't find peace anywhere else. So I was always in the temple in my village. But when I went to Kenya, the temple was quite far. So I had my connection with the mango tree. So I saw that mango tree as my mother, and anything I didn't understand, I'm like, I used to talk to the mango tree. I'm like, why are these people like this? And I would get a voice telling me. And to me, it was like the mango tree is my mother, and she's explaining to me, because my mom, she was tied up with so many other stuff. So, and in a way, I'm thankful, because my mom would have only put her insecurities in me, whereas the mango tree was really empowering me to say, you know, you're a good-hearted girl, you've done nothing wrong, and that sort of thing. And I used to talk to chameleons and butterflies, you know. And when I was coming to UK, am I going off the subject here? When I was going to UK, I was so scared, because in Kenya I got accepted. I'm like, here, there's all white people. How is that going to work, you know? But when I spoke to the mango tree, her answer was, because I get fascinated by chameleons. And when I sit on the mango tree, I see butterflies, and a lot of times there's always a chameleon there, you know. And when I used to sit there eating mango and watching that chameleon, I'm like, ooh, now you're going to turn green. And then, oh, there's brown and green. That was me as a child. I just sit there and watch the colors change. And so the mango tree's advice came as, when you go to UK, you love the chameleons, use their energy and blend in with wherever you go. Just blend in. And I thought, okay, we can, you know, I had good connection with chameleons. So when I went to UK, I wasn't educated or anything, but somehow, I mean, I didn't even pass my English. Somehow in the government jobs, I go into management and higher levels. I don't know how, but some way I just learned. I wasn't aiming for high, I was just aiming for, okay, here I go, this is what I have. And I would turn things around. My way of thinking is I look at the end goal in the sense of how the work needs to be done and every other person's role. And when I know everyone's roles to get one task done, then I kind of switch it around in a way that is more feasible and more, how can I put it, more, orderly. So I was very good at setting up systems, you know, rotors and things like that. So that's where my skills lied. Where I wasn't aligned by education, oh, I haven't done this, I haven't studied this, so I can't do this. I was just the, how do you call it, the manual, just using my mind. There was no kind of stream to my mind. My mind is like, I'll look at it from that angle, I'll look at it, so I'll look at it from every angle and say, okay, so this is how we'll go. Test and trial. Yes.